Cars 3 is the third installment in Pixar's Cars franchise. And what is Cars 3 about? Well, Lightning McQueen, who is once again voiced by Owen Wilson, he gets into a really bad crash. Not a spoiler, it was in a trailer, which results into people thinking if he will retire or not. But McQueen decides that he will not retire, but in order to get back to racing, he has to be trained by a new character named Cruz Ramirez. But Lightning gets himself into a predicament. He gets overshadowed by all these next gen racers who are faster and more high tech than he is. Now I'm sure most people know this, but a lot of people consider the Cars franchise to be Pixar's weakest franchise. And the reason why people think Pixar keeps making these Cars movies is because they think they exist for no reason other than merchandise.
Merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made.
Now, before I get to my thoughts on Cars 3, I'm going to share my quick thoughts on the first two Cars movies, because I'm sure a lot of you guys want to know what I think of those movies. I really like the first Cars movie. I mean, sure, it's not as strong as Pixar's other movies like Toy Story, Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, and Monsters, Inc., but I still think it's a really good movie with a really great story, with memorable characters, and a really heartwarming message. And with Cars being a hit with critics and audiences, Pixar then released Cars 2. Oh boy. So, when Cars 2 first came out, a lot of people called it Pixar's worst movie ever made. And while I don't hate it as much as everyone else does, I still don't think it's a very good movie either. I thought the story was way too hard to follow, it focused way too much on Mater, and with Cars being about racing, the whole spy espionage crap just didn't go well together. And now we have Cars 3. I remember when Pixar first announced that they were going to make a Cars 3, I was like, okay, really? But then, a few years later, Pixar then released the teaser trailer, which was back in November, and I was like, okay, I'm on board with this. So, has Pixar learned after Cars 2? Honestly, yes they have. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I'm being completely serious about this. I had a total blast with Cars 3. Out of all the movies that I've seen in 2017, this is not only one of the most surprising movies, but it's one of the most fun I have had in a theater all year. First, let's start with the things that I liked about this movie. I enjoyed the story. It was mature, it was emotional, it was really interesting to see Lightning go through all this, because he's not as good as he used to be, and you feel bad for him. A lot of people consider Lightning McQueen to be one of the most dullest characters in any Pixar movie, and I mean, I like him as a character, but he's not gonna be like top 10 best Pixar characters of all time. You feel bad for him in this movie because he loves racing, and he's being overshadowed by all these next generation racers. And of course, let's go to the animation. Of course, like every Pixar movie, the animation is beautiful, and the animation in Cars 3 is phenomenal. When you see the race cars race each other, you think it's real, because they do a great job making all the cars look realistic. And there's a scene where Lightning and Cruz, who is a trainer, practice on the beach, and you see the water, and I was like, that water looks so realistic, because I actually thought it was real, surprisingly. And another thing that I give props to Pixar for is that it doesn't focus on Mater. He's barely in it. I mean, he is in a few scenes, but he's not the focus like what happened with Cars 2. We don't speak about that movie again. And the movie does focus on McQueen and Doc's relationship, And I thought that was when it got really mature and really emotional. And I'm not gonna lie, when Cars 3 does focus on Doc on a few scenes, I actually started to tear up a little bit. It was just really emotional. I didn't expect that from Cars 3, but as much as I really, really enjoyed Cars 3, I did have a few issues with it, but they're very brief. Lightning has a new rival in this movie, and his name is Jackson Storm, who is voiced by Armie Hammer, and I actually really like Armie Hammer. I thought he was phenomenal in The Social Network, and this is not the first time he's been in a Disney movie. The last time he was in a Disney movie, it was The Lone Ranger, and that was a bad movie. Good thing he had Cars 3 up his sleeve, because Lone Ranger, that didn't work out. But anyway, here's the thing that I had the issue with Jackson Storm the most. As a character, I thought he was fine, but he was the villain in the movie, and I didn't really care for him that much. I thought he was a little weak. Like, he's definitely one of the more weaker villains in a Pixar movie. I mean, not that he was. I didn't think he was a bad character, but as far as a villain goes, he was a little weak. He could have been. And here's the last issue that I had with the movie. Don't worry, I will not spoil this at all. The last issue that I had with this movie is the ending. Like, the final big race. It was a little disappointing, and I mean, for what it was trying to be, it was heartwarming and sweet. I'll give it credit for being that, but I was a little disappointed with what resulted in it. It wasn't what I expected, and I was like, really, Pixar? Really? But I like that they made it heartwarming and sweet, but yeah, it was a little disappointing. But other than that, I was actually surprised with how Cars 3 turned out. I not only thought it was a huge improvement over Cars 2, but I thought it was better than the first Cars. I think Cars 3 is the best Cars movie in the franchise. However, will it go down as an all-time Pixar classic like Toy Story or all those other classics? No, but I had a fun time with it, and it was just a surprise movie, and I think you will have fun with it too. I'm going to give Cars 3 an A-. Okay, Cars 3. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Or, what is your favorite and least favorite Pixar sequel? Whatever it is, comment below and let me know. And if you want to see more videos, just be sure to subscribe.